Back here with Francesca Page alongside, and we bring in a couple of gentlemen to talk about this. Joining us from our Newsmax newsroom in South Florida, the author of Rise, Kill, and Eat, A Theology of Hunting, Doug Giles. Also joining us, a man with whom I've done rhetorical battle back in the day, the columnist for Newsday, Ellis Henican, who joins us from Newsmax, New York. Gentlemen, to you both, we thank you very much for your time. And there you are on the screen. And Francesca, we begin. I believe you have a statement here, correct?
I do. This is a statement we have coming from Panera, who said, within our company, we strive to create Panera warmth. This warmth means bakery cafes where customers and associates feel comfortable and welcome. To this end, we ask that guns not be brought into this environment unless carried by an authorized law enforcement officer. My first question is actually going to be for Doug here. Can you tell us, Doug, what type of backlash you think the company will face with gun activists?
I think they're going to get a massive backlash, just like Chipotle did, just like Target did. Folks aren't going to like their rights mitigated. I understand, they want the warm and fuzzy Panera feel there, but, like happened in 1991 at the Luby's restaurant in Killeen, Texas, where this guy drives his frickin' truck through the front window and then kills 43 people. To me, as a parent, my warm and fuzzy comes knowing that there could have been somebody in there to protect my kids. And I think there's going to be a massive backlash, and I think, gun-free zones are killing havens for lunatics on prescription meds that have a wet dream of being the next Hannibal Lecter.
Ellis, for you, I would like to ask if you think this decision will affect them in a negative way.
Gosh, I'm going to try and stay away from the wet dreams, if you don't mind. Is there no limit? Is there no reasonable precaution that we can take in order to keep guns out of places if they don't belong? There's no reason to bring guns to a bakery. There's no reason to bring them into church. There's no reason to bring them to Little League. We are not, Doug, let me make this clear, we are not facing a national trend of extra violence. In fact, we have fewer gun crimes than we've had in this country in just about half a century. What we have just as many of is accidental discharges, people shooting their loved ones, kids getting hold of guns. To me, we ought to be praising, not attacking, responsible corporate citizens who say, you know what, we're here to serve you a bowl of soup and a loaf of bread and a nice wrap, and keep your guns outside. I mean, you gotta be an ideological extremist not to see the logic in that.
Oh, ideological extremist. Doug, do you fill that bill, according to what Ellis has to say here?
I dig the Bill of Rights, Ellis, and it affords me to keep and to bear a firearm and to protect my person, to protect myself, and to, just like I said, what would you...
It does not, Doug.
Hey, Ellis, what would you do
Doug,
if you were... I'm Ellis, I'm going to shout Doug down.
Let Doug have his say.
Ellis, what would you do if you were in Killeen back in 1991, you and your family are eating some chicken fried steak, and like I said, Numbnuts comes through the door in a Ford truck, and he starts strafing people, and Ellis, for all said purposes, like you just mentioned, you've got your gun at home or maybe in your vehicle, and they're killing your family. You're going to have the warm and fuzzies. You're going to be high and mighty. How we shouldn't have guns in places where we have bread and pastries. I think you'd feel like a fool if you didn't have the wherewithal to protect yourself.
Doug, let me try and explain a couple things to you, because it's really not complicated. And I promise you, if you listen, you'll learn something. The fact that there is a Second Amendment, which all of us recognize and honor, does not mean that you can bring any weapon anywhere at any time, no matter what. It doesn't allow you to bring a gun into the White House. It doesn't allow you, excuse me, let me finish my sentence. It doesn't allow you to bring a loaded gun onto an airplane. Adults, responsible, sane people in our society are expected to make judgments, and you can't bring an atom bomb into church. There's some things you can't do, even though you have a Second Amendment. It seems to me that Panera, who owns that store, or their franchisees do, have every right in the world in their private property rights to tell you, keep your cannons outside, Doug.
Right. Yeah, I agree. They have every right in the world to do that.
Good, and I'm glad we agree on that.
Yeah, and they have every right in the world.
And you shouldn't go to Panera. Go somewhere where they have target practice with your bagels.
Yeah, what's interesting, Ellis, is where I have gone to places where they allow open carry or concealed carry. I feel very comfortable and very at home,
sure you do.
knowing that there's a lot of guns
sure you
around,
do.
and there's a lot of people that have a lot of discipline
And you should let
and the
your
wherewithal to
kids
protect
play
themselves.
with
Doug,
them.
I'm
But do you
just
want them
gonna-
on airplanes? Do you want them on airplanes? Really?
I love an air marshal
Really?
locked and loaded on an airplane.
You want the guy on the next seat to have a loaded gun in his pocket? I don't.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I'm just going to interject here very quickly, and I have a question for Doug here. Shooting off this a little bit, what do you make, Doug, of the Mums Demand Action and their ad campaign aimed at pressuring a change in the policy on guns in stores?
Again, you know, it's I understand if you've lost a kid through a gun accident, but those are minuscule. As much as Ellis likes to make it seem, you know, these astronomical numbers. I mean, there's more people killed in these restaurants slipping on a spilt drink, or injured rather, in restaurants, slipping on a spilt drink, or like at Wendy's, eating their Baconator, than there is gun accidents. The thing that I would be inconsolable about as a father, and my wife as a mother, is that if one of our kids were killed by a perpetrator in one of these places that forbid having a firearm. Listen, the cops' average response time is like 20 minutes. The average response time of my concealed weapon is 1,200 feet per second with my .357.
And speaking of time and reaction time, unfortunately, our time has come to an end. Gentlemen, we thank you both for a passionate, enlightening,
Thank you,
and
guys.
invigorating debate. Want to have you both back. To Ellis Henican in New York and Doug Giles in our Newsmax newsroom, thank you both very much. And America's Forum will continue following this time out.